Over the last 15 years, I've helped 4,831 clients, helped 650 people get to $1 million a year and beyond. And in Boardroom right now, we've got just under 100 people who are between $1 million a year, 3, 10, 30, and even more every single year. And last week, I got to go to the other end of the spectrum. I worked with 515 baby turtles, like brand new coaches, and helped them design and launch their brand new offer and sell it in just 3 days. So I've learned a few tricks about what to do when a client first starts to get them winning quickly. Because if we can make them win fast, they'll never want to leave. So today, I want to show you how to design a product, a program that gets clients winning quickly. Second, I'll show you the 3 hats I wear as a coach to help create and maximize their momentum. And then third, I'm going to show you how to work with the clients, how to train them, how to frame them, and how to reframe them so they get out of their own way, they do the work, they actually win, and they love you long time. There's lots of things we can do ongoing with clients, but we're going to focus mostly on the start of the relationship because like how it starts dictates how it ends. And if it doesn't start well, it ends pretty soon. So like any good, simple training, I'm going to teach you 3 things about 3 things. Let's talk about it, you, and them. I want to talk to you about the product, design and delivery, about you, the coach, how you show up. There's kind of 3 hats, 3 roles that I play when I'm working with my clients. And then about them, the clients, and how we get them out of their own way and into action. And to do this, I said before, like whether you're working with beginners or pros or anyone in the middle, this stuff will work. Last week, I had the toughest crowd. I had 515 brand new people. And my mission that I chose to accept was to help them design, launch, and sell a program in 3 days, over three workshops. Now, beginners are harder. It's easier to like take someone who's winning and help them crush. To go from like 1 to 10 is way easier than like 0 to 1. But I chose to help them because, like, frankly, it's a big chunk of our industry. Getting started is really hard. They need the help. And like selfishly, I'm not trying to sell the client's program. I want to sell black belt. And the easiest way for me to get black belts isn't to like find people who are already doing, 10 grand a month, is to create people who are. So then black belt's the obvious next step. I remember chatting with Alex Hormozy and Layla back when we first met, maybe a decade ago or so. And he said, the secret to scale is how low can you lower the bar of how good your clients have to be and still make them successful? Because he was working with gyms who make, 30 grand a year or something. And his program was $1,000 a week for 16 weeks. So they could maybe scrape together week 1. But if they hadn't made money by week 2, they were going to default on their payments and it was over. So how to start people really, really matters. So let's talk product, coach, and clients. Let's start with a frame. There's a thing that's really common in our industry. If a client wins, we take all the credit. And if a client doesn't, we blame them. It's not okay, man. Of course, there's things out of your control. The way I frame it up with my clients is, we set some big goals and then I ask them who's responsible for making that happen and don't like to, but they point at themselves as like it's me. I'm like, yeah, cool. That doesn't let me off the hook. I'm responsible to my clients and they're responsible for themselves. Like I can't be responsible for their results, but I'm responsible to them and I take my end really, really seriously. I want to put all of this in the frame of, if you take responsibility for more than you could or should, they'll win and they'll stay and pay and tell their friends for years. So when it comes to product design, the first thing is I want you to build half a product. The guys at Basecamp, Jason Fried, said, build half a product, not a half-assed product. Most of us fall into the trap of trying to teach everything we know about a topic instead of like, what do they actually need to know? Because everything you know is a lot, but to get the outcome, they don't need like 92% of it. They need like this much. And so instead of like trying to build a product that does everything, if you just design a product or a program that does less on purpose. So we just launched this clients program and it's designed to get someone to $10,000 a month. And there's a million things we did not teach. There's no funnels, no ads, except for the occasional like boost or engagement ad to like, get content to go viral. There's no MRR. There's like not much in it. Why? Because I'm building half a product. Its job is to get someone to an outcome. And so anything that gets them to the result is in. Anything that they don't need to get the result is out. The easiest way to help clients win is to just get rid of all of the overwhelm and put less in. Linked to making half a product is we don't want to overwhelm people with content. Most coaches drown their clients in content, and what they really need isn't more content. What they need is more context. They're lost and they're overwhelmed, and so they don't need more stuff. They just need a map, a way to navigate their way through. So I think context over content, and really that comes down to giving them a real clear visual map, which is like, we're starting here, point A, we're going to here, point B, and these are the steps along the journey. We do that with a visual model we call the magic model. I'll show you ours right now for this clients program because it shows people, this is the journey we're on together. These are the missions, these are the milestones, and these are the steps. And so at any given point, we can just like like get out of the weeds, zoom all the way out and go, oh, remember the map? Yeah, we're here. Let me show you how it works. All right, so let's talk maps. Again, people don't get lost or confused because the content's not good. They get lost or confused because there's lots of content and there's no context. They don't know how it all fits together. So when we design a program, it comes with a visual model. This is one of the designs we use. It's called a magic model. It's a simple triangle. Again, about three things. Hopefully you're seeing some patterns here. The magic model goes like this. By the way, yours is going to look very, very different. Like this is my content to help coaches get to 10K. Yours is going to be whatever. But it starts with, what's the outcome? This is like, what's the dream come true of the program? What's the promised result? You really want that? And they're like, yeah, but I can't because reasons. Exactly. So then we're just like, these are the three problems we want to solve. They're the obstacles, the reds. Then 3 greens, these are our core milestones. So step 1, we're going to build your perfect offer. Step 2, we'll build you an active audience to get your leads. And then 3rd, I'll show you a simple process to get people to buy it. So once we know this is the goal, this is what's stopping us, these are the 3 core milestones, then it's missions. This is like the how-to part. This is like well, how do we actually get that? Well, perfect offer, we nail the niche, we unpack a visual model, like I'm doing here a little bit with you, and then we craft an offer. So what's the course curriculum? The course curriculum is a little bit about the outcome and some framing, which we'll talk about. Then side of the triangle number 1 and the modules, the 3 blues, and then triangle side number 2, active audience. And so the way it's delivered is just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 clockwise around the thing. Does that make sense? Giving people a map allows me to get them started. They understand where we're going. It's like a table of contents in a book. Once we finish the chapter, like we've just built out an offer, now I go, hey, congratulations, zoom out. Look where we're up to on the map here. We've just done, 1, 2, and 3. Congrats. Next, we're going to tackle blah, blah, blah. And it just helps people get location and connections between the content. And instead of shooting one long video about how to craft an offer, we break it into bite-sized steps. Why? Because momentum builds. Step 1, feel successful. Step 2, feel successful. So let me show you how we unpack one of those blue modules into what we call planets. It's a bite-sized video or piece of live delivery that's like 7 to 15 minutes long, and it follows a really simple formula. So let me just show you that right now with the 5-page workbook. I used to overcomplicate this stuff and teach too much. Now I keep it really simple because I just want clients to get it and move quickly. And so we use this thing like the 5-page workbook. First page is just the title of this planet. So in this case, it's about choosing a niche to hunt for the next 90 days. Then we go mistake. So page 1, title page. Page 2, this is the mistake, the thing that's holding them back. In this case, people are scared to pick the wrong niche. What happens if I get it wrong? Then this is the do this instead. Don't get married, date it. Simple idea, they'll get it quickly. Then often there's a model, not always, but there's a model which kind of explains it. We want the overlap between, do I love them? Can I help them? Can they pay? That takes like a minute to explain. And then there's a worksheet, an activity to do. I'm not going to talk you through the activity, but those 5 pages, a title, a mistake, a do this instead, sometimes a model, and a worksheet, that's a really tidy piece of training. So that's all I really want to say about the design of the curriculum and the modules. We're building half a product. We're keeping it lean. Now let me show you how to make them go faster. I don't know about you. I've worked with a lot of clients, and I've had the experience where I teach it as best I can, and they go like, yeah, I get it. And then they do it, and it's awful. Sorry, past clients. I did my best. We're in a really cool space. In the old days, you had a choice between like, do it for them, hard work for you. Do it yourself, like here's the information, good luck, not great for them. Then this kind of done with you space open up. But with AI, there's just a bunch of things that we can do now that we never used to be able to. And so we build a bunch of custom GPTs to help our clients implement this stuff so that instead of DIY or done for you, or even done with you, which was like best we used to be able to do, now we do DXY, done accelerated for you, which just helps people win and win faster. So for every single one of these pieces, you don't have to go this extreme, but like for this program we just ran last week with clients, we built 9 brand new custom GPTs so that a beginner could get to like 80% good from a standing start. And it just builds confidence. It gives them something that's good enough to test. Is it as good as like you or I would do when we're getting like, because we're gangster at this stuff? Nope. Is it way better than what they could do on their own? 1,000,000%. So just think about how can we accelerate this stuff with AI? Tools, checklists, templates are awesome. But if we've got an AI that they brainstorm on a worksheet and then they just voice record the stuff into a GPT that you've built that helps them get a great outcome. We had people like create an incredible magic model, which is like polished to the nth degree. Tony on our team makes these amazing GPTs. They take 20 hours each. I've had people go, you can do that in like 15 minutes. Yeah, you can. But these ones are really good. Like every character is fighting for its spot in the custom instructions. I'm nerding out on this too hard. Anything we do to make the clients win faster is going to be great. It comes down to the instructions you provide it, the input they give it, which is your job as a coach. And then the GPT will do its magic. And then they get to like salt bay, season it at the end with a little bit of help from you. That way though, they win faster. So we've just like deep dived into product. 3 big keys. Build half a product. Don't try to do everything. Just decide one outcome and then only give them what they need to make that happen. Give them a map, some context, a visual model, or even just like a subway map like this. We're going from Manhattan to Brooklyn, and these are the stations along the way. Gives people some context. And then how do we speed them up? That's the product. Next though, we need to talk about you as a coach, because if it was just a matter of like getting the information, we'd all be billionaires with perfect abs, and we're just not, speaking from personal experience. If you've been following me for a little while, you probably noticed that I took the clients program, this thing we just launched, off the market like a year ago, and I kept delaying the launch. It needed a re-record, particularly on the marketing side. A few things had changed, and I was meant to launch it in January, and then I didn't. And then I was meant to launch it in March, and I didn't. And then July, and I didn't. I just kept kicking the can down the road. And that's because, like, frankly, we run a great business, been doing this for a long time, got some skills and a bunch of results. It's much harder for me to relate to someone who's brand new and getting started. And I just wanted to make sure it was really, really useful. And for a while, I was just like, maybe this is just somebody else's job. And so I didn't want to launch this thing, and I put it off and put it off and put it off. And then every time, like, I just kicked the can down the road. And then Tony on my team was like, hey, so we just need to make a decision. We're going to do it or we not. And every time I was about to go, no, let's just not, I kept thinking about some of the clients who I work with really closely now in Boardroom. And there's like 5 or 6 of them who started with me in clients. I had lunch the other day, literally just after we finished day 3, with this cat called Jay, who I love to bits. He's a good dude, and the business is, it's like millions of dollars a month, and he's a good human being. I work with him in Boardroom, and he's in Boardroom because he grew through black belt, and he got to black belt because he started in clients. And the more I thought about like just killing it, because that makes my life easier, the more I was like, well, I never would have met Jay or JK or Pollock. There's like 6 or 7 of these people who I never would be able to, like, who are doing amazing things because they got their start here. And maybe they'd find somebody else, but I feel kind of responsible. And so I think the first thing is, like, as a coach, the reason you do stuff really, really matters. And if your only motivation is, I just want to get the money, okay, dude, you do you. But I think there's an opportunity for a little bit more meaning to the work that we do. The first thing I'd say is figure out your why. And for me, there's 2 things. Firstly, there's this Jay thing. Who are you doing this for? If you just like have somebody in mind, and it might have just been you back when you're in that position, that's really common. So part of it for me was like, I want to find the Wilburys, find the Jays. But the second thing is, I don't really want to grow the clients program. I do the clients program because its job is to get someone to $10,000 a month so that they can join us in black belt, like my pride and joy. And so finding a why that works for you, that where your goals are aligned, I think is really important. I had this conversation at the start of the clients program going like, here's this cunning plan of mine. I want to get you to $10,000 a month so that you're qualified to do deeper work with us in black belt, so that I can grow you to, you know, 50, 60, 70, $80,000 a month in black belt. So just find a why. I don't care why, but if it's just like, I just want to sell some shit and make some money, we're probably not simpatico. So I'm working with these people and they're super keen, but they're also kind of hard work because they're trying to go from 0 to something, and they're scared. Like, they don't have all the bits. And the reason they're stuck under $10,000 a month is because they haven't done any of this stuff, even though they've heard that it's important. And it's like, it's all big, scary decisions. And what if I get it wrong? There's a lot of terror to get through. So I wear 2 main hats when I'm delivering a program like this. And the first hat is teacher. You know, given the stuff we talked about over here, that probably makes sense, right? My job is to figure out what they need and teach it in a way that is easy. And my job is for them to get it quickly and get into it quickly, because if I can get them moving, they'll win. And if they stay in learning mode, they won't. When it comes to teacher, I think the big thing, apart from the structure, is just expectations. So back in the 1960s, 2 scientists ran this experiment in primary schools. What they did was there was a couple of classes, like average performing, and a class that had a reputation as being like the bad class with the troublemakers. And a new teacher came in and they told the teacher who was taking over the bad class that these kids are like, they're really smart, they've got tons of potential, they'll perform really, really well. But if you don't lead them well, they can look distracted and they need to be engaged. But this is the top class. And so she treated them like they were the top class. She expected more of them. In fact, there's this sentence which is like, I'm only telling you this because I know what you're capable of. And people rise to that. So when you run a program, if you go into going, oh, well, these guys aren't any good and they're going to be really hard, guess what? They're going to be hard and they're not going to be any good. So I had expectations up front, and I told them up front what my expectations were, and then I knew they could meet them. And if they didn't believe it, that was okay. I've done this literally thousands of times. And if you're a bit low on belief, just borrow mine and we're going to get along great. So I had Pygmalion belief and they stepped up. First role, teacher. Your job here is to believe and to set a plan and explain it quickly. They don't need lots of theory. What they really need is just enough information to get moving. So you probably want to teach like 60% of the amount that you're used to. and get them out of learning mode and into hands dirty mode as quick as you can, which brings us to the second hat. The second hat I wear is Group Bootcamp Instructor, also known as Drill Sergeant. It's a fun job. Anytime you want people to do something, you've got to be incredibly clear with your instructions. I learned this because I've worked with thousands and thousands and thousands of kids in schools, both high schools and primary school kids, and I can get like 400 primary school kids like sitting up straight and having the best time of their life and follow my every word, like Peter Pan, eating out of the palm of my hand. So that's where I learned this. Clear instructions. So you need to explain, here's what we're doing and why. Here are the steps. Make sure you add the magic phrase, not now, but in a minute. Or not now, but when I say the magic word, banana, so they know not to get started. You're gonna do this, then you're gonna do that, then you're gonna do that. You wanna have as few steps as possible. Then you check in. Is that enough information for you to get started? And they'll be like, yes. Okay, great. Also, I'm gonna give you 3 minutes to do this thing. Your job is to blah, blah, blah. As soon as you're done, type done into the chat. And the moment you type done, I'm gonna be really proud of you. It sounds really dumb, but for these beginners, it really helps. Obviously for the pros, you don't need to be proud of them. You know what I mean? Match your tone for where they're at. Anyway, so super clear instructions, a timer, go. And they'll shit themselves, but they'll do it live and they'll make more progress by doing it live under your supervision than they would with like weeks stewing about it in their head. We've got to get stuff out of their head and into the world quickly. That's our job. So let me give you an example. It's day 3 and they're tracking along okay. They've done really well. But on day 3, we needed to build out their offer doc, like the doc that sells the stuff. And most of these guys had never sold anything before in their life. They've got like no audience, no confidence. They're at their most vulnerable. The market's super competitive and they're shit scared. And so I get them to like build the offer doc and then we write a sample invitation, like something they can email or post on social to the people that they know, even though it's not that many people. And so I'm like, okay, so here's what we're gonna do. Here's the sample. I want you to just see this bit here, make your version of that now. You've got a minute, go. Timer goes on. I wait a minute, go post it in the chat. I give them attaboys. Awesome. If I was a good coach, what do you think my next step would be? Is the question I asked them. You get us to post it. Yep. So here's what you're going to do. Which platforms would you post it on if you did? Yeah, LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, wherever. Cool. Okay, great. I'm going to put 3 minutes on the clock. You're going to post it there. As soon as that one's done, you're going to post it to the next place and the next place and the next place. All the places right now. You got 3 minutes. I know you're going to be scared, but do this and I'll be proud of you. Go. And they shat themselves. Just terrified. Brown pants everywhere. But they did it. That's important because they did the thing scared and will land the plane with what happened in a couple of minutes time because it was kind of rad. All right, I changed my plan halfway through this thing. I told you before there was 3 hats. The third hat is DJ. This is the hat I wear when I'm running a group coaching call, a Q&A. Most Q&As are this awkward situation where there's this big fat list of people just waiting in line for their turn. And the coach gives their attention to the student who's up front right now, and everybody else just sits there going, okay, when's it going to be my turn? God, I hope it's soon because I've got to pick up the kids in an hour. So instead of like good coaching, like one-on-one coaching with a queue, a wait list, I think about it like a DJ. I'll take a song request from anybody, any of the people in the club. Dude, I'm dorky. I don't know clubs. I can take a request from anyone in the club, but I've got to play that song in a way that gets everybody dancing. And so the way that we do that is when they ask a question, I chunk up a level. What's this question really about? And I ask the question that they should have asked. So I chunk up. Step 2, I enroll. Who else has got that going on? Me. Great. Lean in. We're about to fix this. Then I drop back down into helping this person with their thing. As soon as they're clear, I ask everybody, okay, what's the insight about that for you? And while they're typing in the chat, then I talk to Bob or whoever it is I've been working with. How about you? What's the insight? Fantastic. Okay. And then what are the next 2 actions we can take to move this forward? Everybody gets an insight multiple times through the call and 2 actions they can take. Everybody's dancing. It's kind of fun. Okay, muchacho. So we've got designed a great product. You're showing up like a teacher, like a bootcamp instructor. You've got all the hearts in the right place. Your clients are still going to be amazing a lot of the time and get in their own way a lot. Let's fix it together. First thing we want to do is pre-frame. 1 drop of pre-frame, like saying how we want it to go and what not to do and what to do. A drop of that up front will save you like hours of doing it later. A minute of pre-frame is worth like an hour or 2 hours of reframe later on. So pre-frame, really simple. I just made a little sketch at the start. These are the 2 lines. This is the red line. Red line takes you to still not a 10 grand a month. This is the green line. It gets you to 10K a month and beyond. There are 3 things that are gonna trip you up. And I wanna call them out up front because if you do those 3 things, you're on the red line. If you do the green things, you're on the green line. So you don't need to know all of them right now, but one of them was like being scared and letting that stop you. And I just like framed it like this. Of course, you're going to be scared. We're going to be doing some new stuff that you've never done before. But courage isn't not shitting yourself. Courage is doing the thing anyway with brown pants. And that became a mantra. Before when I said I got them to post the thing, the chat just blew up with, oh my God, brown pants, which is kind of fun. So just like frame, don't do this, show it like this. Think about the 3 things which they might do to get in their own way. Frame that up front. You're going to be tempted to do that. Pros, do it like this. That, do it like this. You might do that and it ends up bad. Do it like this. Dabbling and doubling is one. So number 1, pre-frame. Number 2, I don't often do this, but so the second, like once you've framed it, there's going to be something that no matter what you do comes up. In this case, it was like, I'm just scared and I'm in my head. And so I just like made a mantra out of brown pants. Obviously, if you're dealing with pros, it's usually not brown pants, it's something else. But if you call out the biggest objection and you make that a rule. So we had 2. We had brown pants and action precedes clarity, because these guys like want to get everything perfect before they tell anybody about it. But you can't get it perfect in your head. It's got to be perfect in the world. And the only way we know it's perfect in the world is when we ship it and we get feedback. It's a game of iterations, just like growing your coaching business is. Come up with a mantra or 2 that are around here. People like us do things like this. The third thing is kind of fun. Despite all of this, there's going to be times where clients get distracted or they ask about stuff that isn't important. Like when I'm teaching them, here's what to say on a sales call so that the people you've worked so hard to get actually say, yes, please, and give you money. I'm trying to teach that. And cats are asking me, like in the chat, I wonder how he's doing that with his iPad. Yeah, me too. How does he do that with his iPad? I'm not going to lie. I lost my shit. And we had a little bit of a come to Jesus. In fact, at the start of day 1, I framed, and honestly, day 1 was hard. It was really fucking hard. Day 2, I came in and we started with like a bit of a come to Jesus. These are the reasons why you're here. And if we don't change them, you're going to stay there. And I want you to win. And I know it's hard, but I just need you to trust me. A loving slap from a caring coach. You know what I mean? So every now and again, if something's not right, or it feels a little bit off, or you feel like you're preaching better than they're amening, or if you fuck something up and you want to just like recover from it, don't just ignore it. Like you can't just like hide it under the carpet, because pretty soon the carpet's going to be all lumpy with all the stuff you've hidden. If something's off, you just got to call it. And so you say, hey, I know we're in the middle of something, but I just want to address this. You're asking, in my case, it was like, I'm here teaching you the skill that's going to help you get to 10 and 20 and 30 and da-da-da. Like literally hundreds of thousands of dollars of money from this like next 10 minutes. And you're asking me about how to show my freaking iPad on the screen. You're asking about the stuff that does not matter. If it was important, I would have put it in the curriculum. So right now, I just need you to focus on the stuff that actually matters. Is that okay? We can have conversations which are interesting, or we can do stuff that's actually useful. Permission to be useful. Yes. And they're like, this is the best coaching ever. Which is weird. They kind of like me yelling at them, and it made me feel better to do. I don't usually yell at my clients, but just know that calling it as it is can be a really useful skill. So here's 3 lenses to look at to help your clients win. What do we do with it? About it, the product. What do we do with you, the coach? And what do we do about them? Let me show you what happens when it all comes together. Because on the morning of day 3, I got them to create this offer doc, right? Which has their offer, and they've never sold anything before in their life. And it's exciting and kind of scary. So now they got this. The next step was we made the invitation. And like I said before, I gave them 3 minutes to post it or email it. We're in brown pants territory. But they did it. A couple of minutes later, we're chatting about it. And somebody's like, literally like under 2 minutes later, I get this message in the chat going, oh my God, I got my first reply. Me too. Oh, we're doing it. And it started to build some momentum. I think coaching really is about creating and maximizing momentum. So people start to reply. I'm like, okay, great. When they reply, send them your doc. And it just had a really simple, I'm in CTA at the end, right? Here's what to do next. No need to send me any money right now. Just hit reply with I'm in, and we'll take it from there. So they send the thing, and they're scared but exciting. But like the fact that people started to reply builds a little bit of belief. And even if I've been too scared to send the first one, but it's starting to work for them, okay, now I'll send it. They send the offer doc, and people start going, I've got 3 ins. I got this great dude, Waddy, his name was. He's a fishing coach from the Northern Territory. Shout out to you. He's like, I've got 3 ins. It's awesome. I'm like, great. Okay, then send this, which is here's how to get started, the thing with the send me money part at the end. Over the course of like the next hour, something like 45 people legit made money. I just made $2,000. I made $888. I just made $7,500. I made $15K. This is cool. Not only because it's your job as a coach to get them a result. If you've got mindset skills, you probably use them. I don't. But if I can like move faster than the speed of their disbelief, get them to implement the stuff, and it works, the belief bit gets taken care of by itself. I said right at the start that if we can, how you start is how you finish. And if it starts wobbly, they'll finish quickly. But if we can start strong, build a belief, get them a result, we've got them to belong, we've got them to believe, and we've got them a result, and we're off to the races. So that was a story about clients, that gets people to 10K a month. We've recorded it now. It's going live in January, open to the public. Black Belt helps people get to $1 million a year. And then Boardroom takes people from there. If you want to know how to do this bit, 6 figures to 7, I recorded the super practical how-to video. It's called the $1 Million Plan. It's the exact framework that my clients use to get to $1 million a year and beyond. There'll be a link somewhere in the description. I hope this has been helpful. Give me some feedback. Click the link. I'll show you how it's done.